Hey, welcome to Dad's Class. My name is Devin Pierce, and today is another Top 5 Tuesday. We're going to be looking at 5 truths about parenting. Kind of going with a trend after last week talking about the things that change when you become a grandparent, I thought to myself, perhaps we should talk about what to expect as a parent. And to start, we're going to talk about the not so great things. For today's episode, I'm not going to put numbers up because these things aren't being ranked in any way, shape, and or form. And because they all kind of equally suck. So if you're already a parent, you're going to relate to some of these. If you're looking to be a parent, perhaps this will prepare you for some of the not so fun things just upon the horizon. The first thing I want to mention is a feeling of helplessness. For myself, I never truly understood what helplessness was until I had children who got sick. Both of my boys have been emergency placed into hospitals as small children, more so with my youngest, and that is not a fun feeling. The flip side of that, however, is when all these people come together and help your child, it makes you feel pretty hopeful about everything else in your life. The next emotion that we always have to come to grips with as being parents is doubt. And that comes in a couple of facets. There's doubt about yourself and your own abilities, whether or not you're succeeding as a parent or doing right by your children. And there's also doubt your children are going to be able to do what they think they can do. In my own personal experience, that doubt can lead to a level of both self-respect and respect for your children as well as their own abilities when you surpass and move beyond that point. It can be really reassuring as to the skills that you have imbued in your children and can help you deal with a little bit of that helplessness when things aren't going so well. One of my personal favorites is the fact that you're going to realize that you are terribly unknowledgeable. Children have a way of coming up with questions that you have never thought to ask, even if you were an inquisitive child, which I'm sure my parents felt I was. Because of the ingenuity of thought, our children once asked us, why are hash browns called hash browns? Thankfully, as a parent today, we have Google. And if you actually Google what that means, by the way, hash is an anglification of a French word which means to chop. Browning is to brown something in a pan, so you have hash brown potatoes. Literally just means that we chopped it up and browned it in a pan. Not very creative, but I didn't know that before, did you? As you can guess, from there you can grow your knowledge base and you can become more knowledgeable. And little weird facts like that come in handy for random conversation even with adults. The next couple of things we're going to talk about are 2 feelings of loss. Now, they might not happen to everyone, but I have experienced both of these, and there's something that my spouse and I talk about quite often, and that is the loss of partnership or the relationship with your spouse. You're both so busy parenting, it's hard to sometimes give each other time. The next one is a loss of self. There are days as a parent where you are so busy worrying about your family, your spouse, your children, that you kind of forget that you're a person too. Over on the Dad's Class podcast, which we try to put out every week here, I mention quite readily the importance of self-care. If you can't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, putting on your own safety mask as an expression, like on an airplane, you can't help other people if you run out of oxygen. But you may have caught on that I'm showing you these not so great things, but also how they get better, or how they reflect into something better than what they were. With both forms of loss that I've mentioned here, you do grow from that. You gain an appreciation. Even if you and your partner don't end up making it through the stresses of a relationship, other people's assistance, or theirs, can come as such a relief. You really learn to appreciate help from other people. When it comes to your loss of self, having a partner or a friend to take over some of your responsibilities as a parent and provide you with the opportunity to reconnect with yourself is an amazing thing and pretty awesome. And that ties back into that appreciation of other people that you do tend to develop. That being said, there is the opportunity to see parts of yourself, even some of the pieces or hobbies and interests that you think you've lost touch with, in your children, as they tend to follow in our footsteps, sometimes unknowingly. And that can bring to you a really unique version of pride, both in the fact that your child is taking after you, as well as just in yourself for inspiring that into your child. If this is your first time checking out a dad's class, be sure to keep an eye on the channel by hitting the subscribe button and dinging that little notification bell. Try to get a podcast episode every week. It comes out on Friday mornings. We do live recordings of those podcasts over at mixer.com/dadsclass at around 5 p.m. If you guys have any suggestions for the show or for Top 5 Tuesday, be sure to leave me something down in the comments below. You can also hit me up on Twitter and follow our page over at facebook.com/dadsclass. As you might be able to gather by these little bad boys behind me here, I like to play video games. If you want to come hang out, have a conversation, maybe talk about something you found on the YouTube channel or some other resources that you've seen scouring the internet, feel free to come over to twitch.tv/crownesso. Come hang out with me, listen to some good music, watch me play video games, and we can chat about other things too. We're gonna try this one more time. Do. Hey! Maybe if I dim the lights in the back.